Okay, guys, so we're here with the winner of today's pod. Jay, how did that feel, man?
Yes, it was good. It was a good pod, and I just feel like, I don't get as much attention as I deserve sometimes, and that's it. That's the game. The game's the game, and I play it well, and I play to win, and yes, that's it.
I know you get a lot of criticism. Was there any clashes out there today?
Well, whenever we have a guest on, there's bound to be some clashes, but they have to understand that I am the star of the show, and sometimes big personalities don't work well with mine, and like I said, that's the game. That's how the game is played. So yeah.
Thank you for your honesty. And last but not the least, what are you going to keep in mind for the next pod?
Just that I'm the best, and I have the best pod show on the entire planet, and just keep doing what we're doing and rack up wins, and don't care about anyone else. So yeah.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Enjoy. Celebrate well. All right, guys, and today we're joined with a first-timer on the pod as a host. Sid, how was that experience for you?
Oh, it was a fantastic experience. I think you guys did a great job. The team was awesome. And yeah, all the folks back home are working so hard. And I think it was a slam dunk. Yeah.
And how do you plan on celebrating tonight?
It's with the team, man. It's all about the team. It's a team effort. We have to celebrate with the team. The morale is high. And yeah, that's what we're going to do.
So what are you going to do? Are you going for a dinner, a nice outing with the girlfriend, wife? What are we talking about?
The team. It's a team, It's a team. We have to be with the team always. And the folks are doing a fantastic job. The guys and girls back in the studio. The Empty Shelf gang, guys. Y'all are the real winners. You guys are the real winners.
Thank you, Sid. Thank you for being a part of this. Enjoy.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Having Said That Show. I'm Adi alongside my co-host. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Hi, Adi. Nice to meet you, dude.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Having Said That Show. I'm Jay, here with my co-host, Somil.
Hi there, guys. Good morning.
I thought you were gonna do the banterful intro, bro.
Oh no, that's the.
I was waiting for him to do like a hey, what's up, like F1 style kind of intro.
Okay, let's say good evening then in that case.
Okay, cool.
No?
You wanna go again?
I kind of.
Okay.
Oh wait, it fell flat. Holy shit! First time ever. But that was your intro, if there ever was one. No, but hi guys. Thank you for tuning into this episode. And have I started the podcast voice now?
Yeah, I think you're always in podcast voice. That's like one of the first things we notice about him is that he always speaks in his podcast voice. That's it.
By the way, we need to introduce the guys we have in the studio. We have Somil and Sundaram from the Inside Line F1 podcast. Give it up, guys. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. It's going to be a fun episode. And we have a new HST host also, which is me.
Yay!
Adi's not here.
Let's go. Let's give it up for Big Sid. Okay.
Guys, I'm still here. I'm just taking a back seat because F1 is not my forte, but I'll hand it off to my co-hosts.
Yeah, so I actually got in touch with the Inside Line podcast through a very good friend of mine who's also a viewer of the pod. And he told me that his brother-in-law, who's your co-host, Kunal, and you run the Inside Line F1 podcast. And I tuned into it, I think, a year and a half or so ago. I was following last season as even this season. And yeah, dude, like, big fan of the pod. I really enjoy the content that you all put out. The thing was, so when I heard the first episode and I went up to my friend Rishabh and I was like, dude, like, it's a damn solid podcast. Kunal is really good. And even his co-host, very cool guy, like seems like a really mature old guy, knows what he's saying and all.
Sure.
And no. I this was the thing, yeah. And Rishabh was like, dude, do you know how old Somil is? And I said, I don't know. I mean, he's got a very nice, mature voice. I'm gonna guess like 28, 30 or so.
Yeah.
Close.
He told me, dude, you were 16 at the time or 17
my
or something.
God.
And I could not believe that. Like, I'm sure you get this often.
Every single time.
Yeah.
I mean, for the record, you should probably tell how old you are right now.
No, take a guess, folks. I'll give you a second for that.
So yeah, you guys can take a brief second. But when we found out how old he actually was, he's 19. We had to request ID because there's no way anyone would have guessed he was 19. Okay, he came in with like, good morning.
No, it's just a beard. That's all.
Yeah.
Just a beard. And I've just woken up voice, so.
That's a lie. It's always a radio voice. Okay, guys, so let's get into it, okay?
By the way, we yet to introduce the legend himself.
That's
By
true.
the way,
that's
F1
true.
Stats
Sid.
Guru, folks. His stats have been read out by Fernando Alonso. He constantly retweets him. And Fernando is your idol. Fernando is why you started watching the sport as well. But he's not the only one. You might have heard of Crofty, David Croft, on
Yeah,
the
of
Sky
course.
broadcast.
Yeah.
He is a big fan. I think he recently mentioned an amazing stat by Sundaram that every time a driver has taken the 101st podium of their career, it's been a race win. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this time, but he's constantly on the F1 World broadcast.
Yeah,
So
and that's
he's
awesome. I want to know which was the stat that Alonso read out or used. Or what was
Good
that?
question, because that was a stat around the highest conversion rates from pole to win.
Mhm.
And amongst the active grid, Max Verstappen is number one. He has the highest one amongst, I think, all drivers who have more than one pole position, close to 77%.
Yeah.
And next in that list came Fernando Alonso, and after him came Lewis Hamilton. And just for that very reason, that he sits higher than Lewis,
Yeah.
he actually retweeted it. And but that literally made my day. I was in tears.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
Wow.
I really can't explain how I felt that day.
they call you stats guru for a reason. So
Perhaps
That's awesome, dude. He retweeted the stat.
he retweeted the
It
stat.
must have blown up, I'm sure.
It did to a certain extent, but a lot of other stats actually blew up a little bit more. And the one that he mentioned right now, the 101st
Yeah.
podium, Fernando actually got to know of that as well. So my stats being actually read out and actually being known by my favorite drivers itself is a win for me.
Nice, man.
I couldn't be
Awesome.
happier.
But yeah, so the thing is, Adi's on the spot, and Jay and I are big F1 fans, and Adi, of course, is a hater of it.
So we actually got into F1. How did you get into F1, Sid?
Yeah, I'm a Drive to Survive fan. I'm going to admit it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
So is
I
that's,
can just put it out there.
that's a major talking point these days. It feels like everyone who's into F1 has either been into it for like years and like their dads made them watch it, and they they gatekeep the sport, and it's all super toxic.
don't hurt us like that. I mean, don't call us out like
So,
that.
so whenever I tell someone, right, because I've been watching since Drive to Survive came out, so that's 2018, and every time I meet like an F1 fan, I'm super enthusiastic about it, and they ask me like, oh, like it's like a vetting process almost. It's like, how did you get into the sport, man?
It's true,
And I was
though.
like, yeah, right, and I was like, oh, Drive to Survive, and then immediately I can see like a switch going off in their head. It's like, I'm not talking to this guy anymore, bro.
Do they roll their eyes every time? Do they
Yeah,
roll their
every
eyes?
single time. It's like, oh, you've been Drive to Survive. Okay, dude, that's like the reality Housewives TV of F1, bro. But what do you think about that? Do you like the fact that F1 has so much more notoriety now because of Drive to Survive?
That's an interesting take, actually. I'll try to be diplomatic for 2 seconds before I actually reveal my true self. No, but again, it's for the better, right? They've got more numbers thanks to it. And let's be honest, the shape in which the sport was in before Drive to Survive, it was absolutely in the doldrums financially. So the way the new owners have come in and just changed it, it helps. It works out for everyone.
for sure.
Suddenly, the teams are genuine, profitable businesses
Yeah.
who are now most wanted by all the sponsors.
Yeah.
And it's relevant to them. So I think it works. And for me as a fan, because obviously we're all fans, right? Even though you work in the sport, you still are a fan at the end of the day. It provides a little bit of fun context about what used to go on.
Sure.
And some of these stories, like in season 1, Drive to Survive, we used to have Cyril Abiteboul and Christian Horner fighting.
Yes.
The first time we ever saw that, the amount of access that we got was amazing. We're like, wow, this sort of stuff,
Yeah.
they actually fight like kids.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys never saw like the behind the scenes
Never.
stuff. It was always like a Twitter report and everything. Everything was super like
Precisely.
censored and stuff.
But
yeah,
here's
it's
when it
crazy.
got crap. After season 1, they started to really fabricate it because everyone realized that, hey, this is a tool that we
Yes.
can use to market
Yes,
ourselves
yes.
and push out our agenda. And the moment that happened, again, it
So
doesn't
I'll,
really
I'll
have the
say
same
from
feeling
I'll
anymore.
say from my side,
Uh-huh.
I was a huge fan of Drive to Survive. I watched season 1, 2, 3. But after a point, if you watch the season enough, you kind of realize what is
they're doing.
like over dramatized and what
Exactly,
isn't.
yeah.
So I feel like if you are a genuine fan of the sport, Drive to Survive becomes like a nice little recap more than like
I
you
agree.
take everything super seriously. Because like you said in season 1, with Cyril, Christian, everything, they made Daniel Ricciardo and Max's rivalry, like they blew it up way more than it was actually, on screen. So yeah, it toes the line between reality TV and like.
But it's fine. I mean,
It's good. I like it. It's
it's
fun.
okay.
I think the
good trash.
audience is different for both cases because for purists like us, people who watch every single race,
Purists.
Purists. Here we go.
Like all of us. Yeah.
I was referring to myself and Somil there. The fact is that when we watch Drive to Survive, it really doesn't add on to much
Yeah.
that we already know.
Yeah.
Because we watched every single race, we know what's actually happened in that situation. What we are in it for is for the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And off lately, a lot of seasons haven't really been providing that, and that, like you mentioned, a lot of it
Yeah.
has been fabricated.
Yeah.
Could I make an argument for Drive to Survive? I haven't
for it.
watched it, but I've heard from a lot of people, friends, mostly women. About 50% of people who watch our show are also women. So I want to support you guys on this. Drive to Survive gave them an insight into the guys, and then they started relating to how sexy each guy
Yes.
was.
Yes.
Which I think helped the sport, because when more women come to watch the sport, more everyone comes.
Do you think that was one of the intentions?
There's some hot ass dudes on the grid, bro. Let's not lie, okay? Like,
Yes. But
it is what it is.
they've always been there, though. That's
Yeah.
the case. That's the case. No, but I agree with the part that you feel a little bit more human. You feel a little bit more connected
yeah,
with them.
yeah.
But I think it's come at the wrong time because we have the most dry and the most boring generation of Formula One drivers who are the most PR friendly. I mean, every single one of their answers is like, "Oh yeah, we did a good job. Our team has did a good job. The guys and girls at the factory did a good." No, come on, be human.
We know who you're
So,
referencing. We know who you're referencing.
All of them. Come on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you're frustrated, say you're frustrated. Be human. Have a. It's okay. I know we can swear because I've seen an explicit mark on one of the episodes previously, but you can be a dick sometimes. You need to be a dick to invite characters because again, what would a good TV show be? Again, let's be honest. Formula One is a TV show. We watch it because it's entertainment. What would a good TV show be without a good villain?
That's
So
true.
you need someone to hate. You need some character, some personality, and we don't have that anymore, Sundaram.
Well,
do
I
we?
think Max kind of serves as like the villain almost
Precisely.
after 2021. But do you guys think it's? I always tell people if you want to be an F1 fan, now is the time to get into the sport because I think Drive to Survive also coincided with the new regulations that they set in place for 2021 and then it got pushed to 2022.
correct.
What do you guys think of the regulations? Has it made the cars way closer? Because I see some really close racing because the cars can follow so close under dirty air and stuff.
We're still so confused about this, no? What do you think?
It's still a constant debate because one of the main aims was to actually mix up the grid to a great extent.
Yeah. Do you guys just want to explain really quick to people who may not know about the new rule change what it is exactly?
The biggest change is the concept of the car, and before downforce was probably, I mean, okay, let me explain that again. Before there were many ways of how the car would be built around. This year it's mostly around ground effect and how the floor of the car performs, and that's where you extract a lot of pace. The car designs, the wings, and all the other parts have been changed with the intention that there is closer racing and there's a lot more overtaking.
Yeah.
And there's less reliance on artificial mechanisms like DRS.
But the catch is that 90% of the overtakes still happen because of that stupid flat.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's
Are you guys anti-DRS? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
No, because the point is that even without DRS, there weren't a lot of overtakes back then as well. So DRS kind of aids in having more passes.
Yeah.
It adds a little bit more excitement, but probably that is not pure overtaking.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't say it's that. I wouldn't say it's bad.
But just because the cars can follow better in dirty air, it does make for more interesting battles, right? Because in the earlier seasons, you used to see if like Max and Bottas, because Lewis was like flying in front.
obviously, yeah.
Like with Max and Bottas, Max would like chase him or Bottas would chase him for like a couple of laps and then they would overheat
Yeah.
because they can't follow so closely. I feel like that doesn't happen anymore. So we have more consistent, longer battles throughout the race that
Good thing.
you can keep tracking and
That's a
keep
good
track
thing,
of.
yes.
You know what I mean? So I always tell people if you want to get into F1, get into it now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So boring drivers aside, I do agree with you. I think the grid is still super young and they do have a lot of growing to do within the sport. But I think it's an exciting time to be an F1 fan.
It is. And I think with the whole thing you mentioned about the overheating part, without getting it too boring and too sciencey, in the past we've had good Formula One races even when cars were not ground effect based. The reason being smaller cars, lighter cars, the cars that are narrower. So I mean, think of it this way, right? In this little room, there's 4 of us, but if all of us were, let's say, dwarfs or minions, there'd automatically be more space. I mean, that's what the Dutch do, right? They replace their cars for 20 bicycles and all that stuff. So the cars are the problem. Why?
Shout out Dutch, man.
Dutch are amazing.
Environmentally friendly and stuff.
Environmentally friendly, drunk, stoned, and just
Max fans.
and Max fans. Hey, that's the way to live a life.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. But the point being that the tracks aren't that much smaller now. It's just that the cars that are bigger, and so because they're wider, you can't pass.
Yeah.
And it just makes it okay. It's still fun. The battles that we follow and the strategies and everything, that'll always be the beautiful part about Formula One. But I think they've sort of swayed away from what it should be like. Because
Yeah.
Monaco, okay, I think every motorsport fan here is going to hate me for this, but Formula E has had amazing races at Monaco. Formula E, by the way, electric motorsport, terrible sounding cars. Like battery rickshaws, genuinely. We were there at the Hyderabad E-Prix and we missed them because we went out for having a sip of water.
Not
No
hear- we could not
way,
hear the cars at all.
dude.
But
Oh, that's crazy.
that's why people hate them. But the racing at Monaco was fantastic.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh no, Monaco is a bad track. But it's
Yeah.
not Monaco, it's the cars.
It is.
So-
It is the cars. I don't know if you guys have seen that side by side with Senna. at Monaco, and there's like the other cars at Monaco. Because Senna was in a much smaller car
My man.
with much.
Yes. Yes.
Right, so he was in a
I've
much
never
smaller
seen
car
a dude
with.
want to kiss another dude more than the
Especially with that t-shirt as well, dude. He's got the culture properly covered up.
You guys have seen that big like the video side by side of Senna just like whipping it through the corners and stuff, and like it'll be like Senna and then drivers today they'll do the same corner and they'll just like clip a side or something.
Yeah,
So it's like you almost can't. The quali order decides Monaco unless there's like some
Exactly.
insane like strategy change. So I mean, we were talking about this as well. It's more of like a pageantry GP almost. You know what I mean? Now, like it's not even like a proper race anymore. I don't feel.
There are more
like.
than a few right now. There's going to be Las Vegas as well. But
That's true.
but on the point of the regulation, just finishing on that topic.
Sure.
The intention of that was probably, like I mentioned, to mix up the grid.
Yeah.
But that's still not completely achieved. It's
Yeah.
slightly better.
Yeah.
But you still see the top three teams
Yeah.
be the very same: Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. And one
Hey,
of the
what? Top 3?
Ferrari, bro. Ferrari is well into the top 4 right
Aston is in the top 4 because
Yeah.
Mercedes and Ferrari have been struggling.
Yeah.
That's
But
been
I
one
guess-
of the main reasons.
I guess that's Mercedes relied a lot on their manpower and their excess budget to make the cars that they
Yes.
were
Exactly,
making, right?
that's-
So I think that was the switch up. It's like you can't have like a super like large team and just get everything because of that, right? There's no comparison between a team like Haas and Mercedes otherwise.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it mixes it up in a fun way, I feel. You know?
So this year might be the first time that Haas is actually reaching
Yes.
the upper limit of that
Yes.
budget cap. Probably they also have a sponsor on board.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one of the biggest thing that the next big thing that has to happen in Formula One is you have more than 3 teams who are fighting for the title. So right
Yes.
now, apart from
Yeah.
Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, the other 2 teams who are really missing out here are McLaren and
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McLaren somewhere in the midfield and Williams is in the back. I don't know if you guys know this, but these two are one of the most successful teams
Right.
Yes,
in
of
Formula
course.
One.
Of course.
Williams has 9 constructors, McLaren has 8.
Yeah.
These teams are literally languishing at the bottom over there.
Why do you think McLaren is struggling so much? Because they don't they have a Mercedes power unit as well right now? So
I
it's
think
just
they-
the aero.
They lost the key or something, right?
They lost the
They
key.
dropped the key. No, they
They got out a driver. Like what?
No. They actually, who was he? He was the
Technical director, yeah.
technical director.
Oh, did he
James
jump
Key,
ship?
James
Did he
Key.
go somewhere else?
No, so apparently, I don't want to spoil his reputation or something, but for most people, it's heard that their old technical director, James Key, was a hard person to work with. And so he didn't quite come up with the best car concepts. Again, he's not the only person responsible for it, but their technical structure was a problem. So they had one person, and you know what they're doing right now? They're making things really fun. They had one technical director and all the other people working in different departments of the car, like suspension, aero, gearbox, X, Y, Z. Now they're saying, okay, let's make it like a Milli Bhagat. We'll have 4 or 5 people and no one technical director.
Yeah.
So it's basically like Ravan without the heads. Like you've got a big body, but no head to handle everything. It's
Very interesting analogy. I love it. Bro. I love
it's
this
gonna
great.
be odd how they
Yeah,
manage
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but let's see. Let's wait and watch. But
Okay, so moving on. I know Sid wanted to discuss kind of like the rule set. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
no,
The Australian GP had a lot of chaotic moments going on.
I'll come to that, but I wanted to say one thing. So you said the new regulations are about making the racing more interesting and make. There's a constant debate in F1 between car versus driver. This is what I think. Like,
I like this one.
yeah, because you could put, I don't know, Nick De Vries in the Red Bull maybe, and he could, kill it, have an amazing race. So how much of F1 is on the car and how much is driver?
you made an amazing reel on
I
that.
made a reel on that, and there's one more component, or probably more components to that.
Okay.
See, majority of it is the car. Okay, throughout history, if anyone has won a championship, that is a fast car. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's the fastest car, but a front-running car, a top 1-2 car. So no one's gonna win it without a fast car, and then you add the driver to probably extract a little bit more, and then you've seen the likes of a Sergio Perez or a Valtteri Bottas in top teams, but they're not consistently winning.
Yeah.
Now you would probably argue that they're favoring the other driver, they're executing team orders and all those sort of things. But if you consider a larger sample space, they're not very consistent as well.
Yeah. Sure.
So to the extent of how a Verstappen or a Leclerc or Hamilton are able to do it, that's where the driver input comes.
Yeah.
And then if you have the best driver combination as well as the car, then there's also the team. The team
Yeah.
who gives you a quick car, who's able to give you all those developments throughout the year, who are able to make the right strategic calls throughout a race, rather than putting hard tires in a Ferrari.
Or not having a mechanic ready for the pit
not
stop.
having a mechanic.
It
ready
is
as
way
well.
more of a team sport than you would think when it
is.
comes down to the line. And I think the difference is it does matter, like the car does matter, but it's when you see 2 elite drivers in the same car, that's when the driving matters. Right?
Exactly.
That's when the style matters. But I mean,
You'd probably
there's-
never see that. You'd probably never see two elite drivers in the same team.
I mean, the last time we saw that was Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg. So
Elite?
Wait, are we calling Nico Rosberg elite?
Elite?
I mean, he did win that season.
He did win it, okay.
I mean, he won the season.
That's
He
enough
won
to
the
be
season.
called elite.
Even
yeah.
I mean, that's
I mean, you have to give respect to
I mean,
Rosberg
he
for what
was
did
elite
yeah.
that season. He was literally world champion, despite Lewis's efforts in Abu Dhabi to kind of pull that back.
Sorry,
amazing
Jay,
how-
if I can chime in, I feel like here's where my hate comes in of the sport.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
Bring it
So
on.
this is
is the wrong
I'm
group, bro.
quoting F1 stats guru. No better quote, right? You just said that the winners mostly are the ones who get the fastest cars. How is that an interesting sport if you know from the get-go that this guy has the fastest car and most likely he's gonna win? How is it a sport you want to follow?
Can I answer that question actually?
I stumped him with that.
So I tell you what, I think of F1 maybe differently than they think about F1. So I look at it as like a sport. These guys are motorsport fans, right? There's so much more to F1 than winning, losing. It's the cars, it's the the whole
Strategy.
the teams, the
Strategy,
strategies, the sounds, the sights, like the racing in between. Like I think we all can experience this. George Russell, when he was in that Williams, he was killing it.
Yeah.
And he was in the back the whole time. He was literally in the back of the pack the whole time. But that one quali where he made it to P2, I think it was in
The race that never happened.
Hungary.
No. It was
Belgium.
It was in it was in Belgium.
Yeah, the race that never happened,
was
yeah.
incredible, bro. There's so much more to F1 than winning and losing. And I feel like the cars, if you're an F1 fan, you know that if your driver isn't in the best car, he can only do what he is capable of doing. Look at Gasly. Right, his entire Toro Rosso career, he got one win out of it.
You
which
call
was,
it Toro Rosso, you legend.
isn't that
It's
the-
Alpha Tauri now.
Ah, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, back in the day,
No,
driving-
good. Keep it Toro Rosso. That's more like it.
But
No, I-
he had a magical win. Like I think it was like a weekend after his friend died.
Yep.
It was insane. Like that.
A year later.
A year and a week.
A year later. My bad. These things transcend sports. I think those are the moments that people really love F1 for. So
Yeah.
winning or
And
losing
to-
doesn't
and to
matter as
give
much.
it some credit, I know that a lot of the trickle-down technology of what is developed for these F1 cars
Yeah.
does eventually reach like the
Correct.
consumer
Yes.
market.
Yeah.
So in
Yes.
terms of that, I think it's a great thing. To me,
Have
a
we
sport should
converted
be
you, my friend?
competitive.
Have we converted you
No,
to
no,
Formula
no.
One?
Like
Maybe by the end of
I'll
this
give you
pod, huh?
I'll
Let's
give you an
see.
example, right? To me, the best sport that exists is chess. Okay, y'all may not consider it a sport, but it's the only sport where
Very active.
where
You
where
burn a lot of calories during chess. though,
there's
my
no
friend.
there's no luck involved.
That's
You
true.
are in charge of every single thing that happens over the board. To me, F1 has so many factors of luck involved that it makes it not interesting to me to watch.
Or rather, maybe so many things that you can externally control as well. Like, for instance, our favorite driver, Fernando Alonso. Oh, no, actually, I'll get to that in a second. But he's made so many career decisions that haven't worked out. So you've got to nail
Talk about that now.
career decisions. Working with mechanics, getting the right setup, working with data, understanding the car, and then, of all the things, even making sure that your driving style suits the car. Because
Exactly.
I think Alex Albon came on air recently,
Yes,
and he
yes,
said
yes,
that the
yes.
Red Bull is so sensitive that it just doesn't work with my style. So, as a driver, can you shift it? Can you change how you think, how you drive? So, there's so many variables that unfortunately we can't see and touch, but because it's so far away that whenever you get a glimpse of it, you're like, oh my goodness, this is great insight. So that's when
I think that Albon interview is pretty telling into like Red Bull's prioritization, right?
Yes.
Like it's Max's car.
and why wouldn't you do that again?
Very
I mean,
reason
yeah,
why Daniel
he's-
Ricciardo
I
left
mean,
the team.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And now has come crawling back. But we'll get into that later, right?
Like the way you put that.
I mean, he has, right? He's basically like their PR guy. That's
He's
it.
supposedly
he
the
he
third
shows up,
driver.
smiles, and he's like, "Oh, Dan
But
Ricciardo,
primarily
yeah."
It's amazing though. It's,
Yeah, but he was the face of F1 for like 3 years when Drive
He
to
was the
Survive
face
came
of
out.
Drive to
Yeah.
Survive.
He
yeah.
was
was the face
he
of
was
Drive
the
to
face
Survive,
of
yeah.
F. Like the first person you see when you click on Drive to Survive is that dude just fucking smiling and like lighting up the TV, bro.
He
So-
was the face of Drive to Survive.
He
but
was the
right
face
now
of
the
Drive to
face to
Survive,
survive is Gunther Steiner.
Gunther Steiner.
Oh,
There's-
yeah,
there is
yeah.
no Drive to Survive without Gunther Steiner.
Yeah. So talk about that. How important are team principles in F1?
everything.
Yeah,
They're
you think so?
everything. So I mean, think of it this way: it may be a sport, but essentially it's like a corporate organization, right? As boring and dull as it sounds, there's 1,000 people working. How do you structure them accordingly? Because there's so many talented individuals out there, but the structure plays such a huge difference. Because think of it this way: if I come up with an upgrade and there's no trust within my team that as an engineer, I will see my designs go through. My motivation level drops. I probably may not come up with as good of technical work as I possibly can do. And that eventually impacts the car, which is then slower, and the drivers get frustrated and all that. So you need someone to really lead it as a team, socially as well.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's become a little bit of a media gimmick as well, because
Yeah.
Christian Horner,
Yeah.
he don't trust any word that he says in the media, ever.
You're personally
Yeah, he
attacking
does
him now.
not
Don't
like-
trust anything
yeah,
he
yeah,
says.
yeah.
No, generally, because he will change sides, and again, I get why, because he has to rally the troops and go for the best interests of his team, and they keep on changing, right? So, but again, his job is partially now to become an ambassador for the sport while then leading a team of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's amazing
I
how it
think
works.
that social aspect is also super important because you see, Mattia Benotto was the technical director. He was the lead technical director, and then he got promoted to team
And it
principal.
didn't work out.
And it just, you can be an amazing technical director, an amazing engineer, and just not have the people skills to have it translate to a race.
Good
You know,
point.
that's why I like Toto Wolff so much.
We had-
he is like
You know,
the goat
Mattia,
of-
he was actually he was with the team for 28 years. So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
he's
yeah.
built a lot of
yeah, he's been there
started
for
off
a
as a
long time.
mechanic.
Yeah, yeah.
and he's built a lot of relationships through his time, and probably he's not the right personality to be a team principal.
The right personality is.
He didn't have the
key.
right personality. He might have been great as a technical director. He brought the team back to the very front in 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because they had a terrible 2020 and 2021. So he was one of those people who brought the team back for fighting wins and for taking regular podiums.
Yeah.
But then not the right personality
Yeah.
to lead a team.
I actually want to add on that because we had David Coulthard on our podcast just last week, and
Wow,
he
how was that?
amazing.
Yeah.
Dude. It was amazing, and he spoke on this very aspect.
Yeah.
So we asked him what's different about Cristiano Ronaldo. Why is he so good?
Mm.
He said he's got the right personality and the people skills, because in Formula One that's everything, and also how quickly you make decisions, because the sport will fly by. I mean, there's a race
100%.
every week, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So literally something arrives on your table, you have to give an answer within 10 minutes at the max. And how do you come up with complex strategic decisions that quickly? So for all the media bullshit that Cristiano Ronaldo does, that's his true skill, and that's why Red Bull are amazing right now.
I have a quick tangent for you guys because I just remembered this. When you were talking about the best, like the winner, the championship winner usually always has the best car. When Michael won his first 2 championships with Benetton,
Correct.
that was not the best car on the grid, right?
It was I think 94 it was, because they had the launch control system that eventually got banned, and that really gave them such a big head start. And then the Benetton was so composed.
Who was his teammate at the time?
Was it Johnny? No, it was not Herbert, wasn't it? Herbert.
My
came
memory is
in-
failing me right now.
It could have even been Max's dad, right? At some
No,
point, was
yours
it?
was
At some
Verstappen
point?
was in 95.
Ah,
Yours was
yes,
in 95.
yes, yes, yes.
94, I don't remember.
So Benetton was like one of the top teams at the time, right? Is there any constructors championship that you can remember that like a driver won and he didn't have a top 2 car? Let's say?
1982.
With who?
Williams. KK Rosberg. So that was the. By the way,
Wow.
if you folks don't know about 1982, this is one season you have to follow. Read about it, watch the old highlights, reviews, everything. Because KK Rosberg, Nico Rosberg's dad, by the way, won that championship that year because every other contender died.
Oh, what
Literally.
the?
I'm not kidding you.
What?
What the
Dude, I
fuck?
didn't expect that answer.
I'm not kidding.
Shouldn't be laughing about this.
No, I'm not
How
kidding.
exciting is this sport right now? Aditya?
Did
Come
they-
on, come on.
Did they die in racing conditions or just external factors?
Mix, because Gilles Villeneuve in the Ferrari. So I love
Was the guy who won from Russia, perhaps, or some other dictatorship country? that-
Canada, the polite dictatorship. No, but really fun story. Gilles Villeneuve is the most aggressive Formula One driver in history. Amazing style. Yeah, think of it this way. He's like the Virendra Sehwag of Formula One. Constant hitting, aggressive, beautiful. But sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you get clean bowled. So that is Gilles. He had a teammate called Didier Pironi. Fun story. I'll come back to that. And they were big rivals. And so Ferrari naturally had a miscommunication. They were fighting for a race in Italy. And Didier Pironi was told, Didier, go ahead, keep the position, and give it back to Gilles at the end. You're not meant to fight. But Didier didn't do that. So Gilles Villeneuve, out of anger, he carried the aggression so much that
no.
he unfortunately crashed in the next race, died. He was a big contender. Didier Pironi had an accident in Hockenheim, but he lost both of his legs. A couple of years later, died in a powerboat
Hockenheim,
accident. The old Hockenheim.
Yeah.
Then the Renaults, Alain Prost and his teammate, both of them, amazingly fast with the turbos. They were the only cars with turbos, and they had 1,000 horsepower at that time. But the engines would die after 20 laps. So whenever they survived, they won. When they didn't survive, they were out. So their engines died. And eventually it was down to just KK Rosberg, who won one race in the entire season and won the championship.
Well,
Because
that's
no
just,
one
I
else
mean,
tried.
that's just reliability for you, bro.
1980s,
That's
yeah.
just good old reliability on
And
the
the
car,
races
man.
were amazing. The cars look like they are turtles, but the racing was fantastic. 1982 is one year you have to watch.
Something that I speak about with almost every F1 fan these days. If you meet like a new F1 fan, there's always one question that you get asked. It's like, did Max legitimately win his first championship in Abu Dhabi
prepared for this.
2021?
So
I feel like, and this is the reality. So many people, let's say Drive to Survive fans or even normal fans, was so like it was so disingenuous, or they felt so cheated of like an entire season and a race, they just stopped watching the sport altogether.
For real?
Right? I know people
Oh,
who stopped
I
straight
don't know
up
about
stopped
that, but
watching
like
the race.
even last year was the first time all of them were trying to get me into F1, and that race I saw it and I was like, yo, what is this bullshit?
That was
Yeah.
a bad
don't-
first race to
it was a bad
catch.
first
too.
race. It was-
And
I
it put
think
me,
was-
it left such a sour taste in my mouth that I don't watch.
Because I think so, guys. What needs to be addressed is how consistent are the rules. That's all it comes down to, right? Can they bend the rules on any given day in any given situation and make it seem? Because I mean, that was pretty. It was pretty controversial. So, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that it is what it is and he won legitimately?
before
You'll
y'all
start with
answer
a
that-
logical opinion and then
before you answer that, I would love for you to summarize that entire scenario for people who may not know. what
in
you're
a
talking about.
sentence, the race director, who's meant to make sure that the race works smoothly in a process, became the TV director. That's all that happened.
Oh, hey man, that's actually very apt.
That's very well put. Yeah.
But if you do want to get more specific about it, you
No,
can.
but
I think, see, the rules are consistent to a certain level. The rules, I'm talking only
Yep.
about the rules.
Yep.
But the way they're applied depends on the humans who are actually applying them. So the stewards and the race directors, so probably their application of those rules is not perfect. What happened in Abu Dhabi, see, I would say that Verstappen or Hamilton, either one who would have won that season, they would have deserved it because they
Sure,
were spectacular
sure,
throughout
sure.
that
Yeah.
year. But of course, if the FIA themselves have come forward and said there was an error in judgment, then you yourself know you've made a mistake. And this has happened across many sporting competitions
Yeah,
where
sure.
in a final you have someone who's been given a no ball, which was probably a detrimental factor in the other team winning. So, but when that does happen, probably maybe not in cricket, I don't know, but in F1, if the FIA themselves tell you we made a mistake, probably there should be a provision to probably reverse that as well. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Because they said that we're going to be investigating this race, but the result will come out before the first race next season.
Yeah.
And there's another rule in Formula One that the moment you hand out the trophy to the winner, nothing is going to be.
Yeah.
You can't reverse that.
Yeah.
I believe there should be some sort of a provision, just like it's happened in like if someone is found at fault or was cheating, ideally there should be a way to reverse that.
So based on that, there's been some chatter around. I don't know if you guys know this, but Lewis Hamilton's 2008 championship
Yep.
with
Yep.
Alonso and the what's it called?
Crashgate.
Crashgate.
Yep.
So the theory was that someone crashed for him to win or something on a safety car.
So the Renault team, that's one of my first races actually. So a really amazing childhood memory.
Oh
where
yeah, 2008. Okay,
Yeah.
around Italy, Singapore. Yeah,
Singapore.
Singapore.
So the Renault team forced the other driver to crash.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it would
Yes.
trigger a safety car which would allow
Yes,
Alonso
allow
to win.
Alonso to
Yeah.
pit, right?
Ah.
And then
Yeah. To
No,
win
he already
because
pit. He had already pit.
oh,
already
okay,
pit.
okay, okay.
Others
okay.
would go down and he would just lead in the front. And
Yes, so the theory would be to reverse that decision, so Massa would get the points, so Massa would be ahead of Lewis Hamilton in that championship.
In my opinion,
so it's just not gonna. I don't think it's super realistic to go back 10 years and change the result.
no, it's
based
not
on
about
mistake.
realistic. See, the point is at that point of time, Felipe Massa may have not really thought about it as much. But the fact is that he never won a race after that. He was never
That's
a title
true.
contender.
Yeah,
after
it's
that. So
super
15
mental.
years later,
Yeah.
that kind of hurts. That
Yeah.
probably that one race could have changed
Hmm.
history, and I would have been a champion.
Yeah, that's true.
For the
man.
only time in my career.
Yeah.
So that's why he's probably pained with that fact right now.
Yeah.
And going back to that race, he's probably fighting a very logical cause because Nelson Piquet Jr. he crashed for what? What was the intention? To benefit his teammate.
Hmm.
He did get a benefit. He did win the race. Ultimately, Alonso was not penalized only for the sole fact that he was not aware of this happening in advance.
Sure.
That is what I don't really understand. I am a Fernando Alonso fan, but I really don't get the logic. If someone did receive an advantage, what is the point of suspending the team principal, the team bosses, banning them for 5 years, and still the teams getting the points for that race?
Exactly.
Ideally, they should have been excluded from. Alonso should have been stripped of the points of that race. The team should have been stripped of their points, and ideally they should have been banned for cheating in
So
Formula 1.
it's almost like in F1 when a rule set comes up, it's like the teams have like a say like a separate subdivision of how many loopholes there are
Exactly.
in these. So it's
No,
like the
genuinely they
best
do.
cheater, as in not cheater, but the best manipulator of these rules, like Ferrari in 2019 with their engine,
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
fuel cooling leakage, whatever.
Yeah.
It's how you get past these rules with your loopholes that kind of
Exactly.
determines who wins as well, which to me
That wasn't a
is
loophole.
low-key interesting
But-
as
but
well.
that's
You
so
know,
true,
like
and it's not illegal per se. Like they're
That's
finding
exactly, it's a
loopholes, which is-
loophole.
I mean, fair. Why not?
What's not written in the rules? What's not
Yeah.
see?
You read between the lines.
To have an advantage, you really need to find these loopholes. You really need to like read between the lines and like what Mercedes did in 2020. They invented
The
The
DAS.
digital- the dual access
Hey,
system,
that
yeah.
was so
that was
cool.
a
right?
lovely,
Yeah, that
lovely,
was
lovely
brilliant.
invention. But unfortunately, it was banned because the other teams did not have the budget or the timeline
Yes.
to compete with that. That's something which I don't really understand because
For
it's
the greater good. I think even with the fan car, the Brabham old one.
how is that a greater good? Because if someone is being technologically or technically inventive, what's wrong in that?
Uh,
Yeah, I agree.
I
mean,
think
they
that
should
season
take the
was
benefit, right? They
yeah.
should take the
I
advantage.
agree with you actually, but I guess maybe they made another TV decision where it was like Mercedes would
Exactly.
run away with it
Exactly.
all. You know.
They didn't had a great amount.
Well,
of
they
it, but-
tried to do that with Red Bull last season as well, right? Like a lot of the teams were complaining about the Red Bull cars and all that stuff.
No, the porpoising regulation. Yeah. No, that is again, it's just safety. But Mercedes was actually lobbying just to make sure that their car was slightly better, and it did turn out to be because of that. But again, I'm just thinking of it this way. It's at some point you've got to realize that Formula One is a commercial sport and it works because you have close battles. And again, if everyone was so far off,
Yeah, 100%.
and that's Bernie Ecclestone's implement, by the way, because he realized that, boss, this is a commercial property. We've got to make money out of this. That's why he withdrew the fan car for Brabham, because he realized, well, nobody can keep up. And if everyone goes to fan cars, 12 out of the 20 odd teams at that point would be bankrupt.
Yeah.
So might as well do it for the greater good.
Here's a
On the note of getting heated a little bit, we like to ask this question to all the guests that come on our show, which is, what is your most controversial opinion? It can be specific to F1, it can be something completely random, but I'd love to know your guys's.
Alan Prost is actually the most underrated Formula One driver in history for one reason, which is the amazing Batman quote. You either live long enough to be the villain or you die a hero. And Ayrton Senna, unfortunately, died a hero. Again, because we couldn't hear his side of the story. It never got complete. So he
Yeah,
became immortal.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
Alan Prost, again,
got immortalized as the villain, unfortunately.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
because it's just because he lived,
Yeah.
he survived. And Sundaram will be able to add some amazing numbers on this. But Alan Prost, what he's achieved in such a limited period of time in Formula One is beyond me. And by the way, this is a time, folks, where gearboxes used to be changed every single race. For Prost, he was the only person smooth enough to make them last for 2 or 3 races at a time.
That's pretty. No, he's a. I mean, I've
He's a
heard
very
a lot of good
calculative
stuff about-
person, and
Yeah,
that's why people call him the professor.
yeah.
But there's a very interesting point about Alan Prost. I was recently researching for a stat of drivers who've taken 100 podiums in Formula One,
Yeah.
and Alan Prost's name was there. He's taken 100 podiums in that era where there was so much of reliability issues,
And
so many
16
crashes.
races only in a season or something.
And he took 16 races in a season. He took 100 podiums in his 191st race in Formula One, and out of 191 races, I think 58 of those were retirements.
Wow.
So basically, in 133 races that he finished, he
He
reached
either
100
finished.
podiums.
Yeah, that's
He's finished in
crazy.
the top
That is
three.
crazy. He either finished on the
incredible.
podium or retired.
And
Essentially.
the most world championships for not the most really, second most world championships, most GP wins at his time, had the most pole positions for his time as well, when he was basically around there until Senna pipped him eventually. But I don't get why people don't appreciate Alan Prost. It's probably just because he survived.
I think he gets lost in the Senna love and just him
It's-
being the rival and stuff like that.
I know it is not Manish Pandey's intention. He's the director of the amazing Senna movie. He was on the podcast as well. And by the way, his interview on Lucky, it got me to tears basically when he was on the show. He's that beautiful. But the way he's made the movie, it's such a Senna romantic. I know Manish respects Alan Prost equally well,
Yeah.
but people don't see the fact that Alan Prost was also such a big part of the competition. And Manish has tried to portray it so well, but people have just gotten lost in their interpretation. It's just, oh, Senna, Senna, Senna.
Yeah.
But there was this one guy who pushed Senna to the absolute limit. And he showed that so well in the movie, but people just don't see it for some reason.
I think it's like I think Rush did a really good job with portraying, like, both sides of it, right? Like they did praise Nicky Lauda and
Good
stuff,
point. Very
but
good
I don't
point.
think everyone was like, "Oh, James Hunt was a villain." You know what I mean? It was kind of like
it ended in a very nice way, that movie.
It did, it did.
Unfortunately, Senna didn't do. It
Well,
didn't happen
I
in
mean,
Senna.
it did eventually. I mean, Senna, of course, died unfortunately, but they never got a resolution. I don't think Senna and Prost, whereas Hunt
almost, you
and
know,
Almost.
They
Niki
almost
Lauda
did.
did. You know?
So apparently, this is a fun story that because there was no like sort of physical evidence, you can't quite say. But Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna, the weekend before Senna unfortunately died, they were having a chat where Senna called Alain and said, and Alain was the president of the Grand Prix Drivers Association. He was like, Alain, you need to come back. I'm not feeling the same motivation anymore. Come on back to the sport. Drive me to the top. And if that is indeed true,
That's a very cool. That's a very cool quote.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Drive me to the top.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, I think even on the weekend.
No, it is. It's a great. It's a great quote,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
To the top. Nice.
But I do now kind of understand what you mean about the modern drivers. Like, dude, Alex Albon and like George Russell are such bland human beings. I just like you
Who's a
you'd
little
have-
spicy in your opinion?
You'd have these.
Yeah.
Who's a little spicy? I don't know.
Or
Like,
a little bit more. I don't know what.
I mean, maybe Max because he doesn't give a shit about the
Yeah,
media,
Max
right?
doesn't
Like
give a shit.
he's. I mean, he's whatever. Lewis is like a media trained. He's like a media trained
goody
good
two-shoes
boy.
guy.
Leclerc and Sainz. Oh my god,
Oh my god.
I really pity them, bro. They're in some shit right now.
You'd most
but,
likely find them being very irritated post race.
Yeah.
But that's a.
I mean, everyone, if you think
Or
about it on the
because,
grid, is kind
or
of
because your watch has been stolen and you've been caught by the Italian police speeding in a Ferrari trying to catch thieves as well.
It couldn't get worse for Leclerc and Ferrari at this point of time.
Seriously.
that's a.
So what about your controversial opinion? Where do you stand on that?
It's something around Fernando Alonso. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but the general consensus about Fernando Alonso is the fact that he's made a lot of poor decisions in
Yeah.
his life. Have you guys heard
Yes,
that?
yes.
Okay, it's spoken about a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you try to dig into it a little bit more, you get some very interesting facts out of it. So, believe it or not, Fernando Alonso would have been a title contender for 9 straight years between 2005 and 2013 if he had made all those right decisions, which people often criticize him for. If he had a little bit of more luck, a teeny little bit more luck, and if he had been a little sensible.
Yeah.
For me to break it down, 2005, 2006, he wins both championships. 2007, he moves to McLaren and he has a very strained relationship with Lewis Hamilton. And that's where he kind of loses it.
Yep.
Okay. If that had not happened, if he had had a more cordial relationship with Hamilton and the team boss, he was a title contender. Ideally, he would have won that championship. He would have stayed back with McLaren.
Yep.
The first year where Hamilton won
Yes.
the championship, that year would have been another year for him at the front. And this is where it gets interesting. Braun GP, the team that won the 2009 championship, wanted Fernando in that
Really?
team.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And this, and I'm literally not making this up. I'm not trying to glorify my favorite driver. This is actually facts about all the offers that he received at that point of time. So Braun wanted him, and that's the most beautiful story in Formula One. The team that went bankrupt at the start of the
Yes.
season,
Who did they get? Jensen?
they got
Butler?
Jensen and Rubens Barrichello.
Jensen, our
Nice.
friend.
Jensen,
Nice.
and they won both
Big J.
championships. The only team
Yeah.
to have a 100% record
Yes,
in
yes,
Formula
yes.
One, and they wanted Fernando. That could have been yet another year. And as for Fernando, he was given an offer to be in Red Bull from 2010.
Whoa.
That potentially means Sebastian Vettel and Fernando could have been in that car.
Whoa.
And
Wow,
Fernando.
he's made some horrible decisions.
No, wait, one sec. Let me. This is gonna
Can you
be.
tell me the team he did go to instead of
No,
instead of Red Bull?
I'll explain all these moves as well. So 2010 to 2013, he could have possibly been a title contender.
Yes.
So from 2005 to 2013, he could have been a 9-time world champion
Yes.
if a certain few things went his way. I'm not even talking about the last 10 years. But the other story is what I feel, what my opinion is. And you, like you mentioned, you probably feel he's made a lot of poor decisions. I feel he's made just one poor decision, which was in 2007. His biggest mistake of his career was making an enemy out of Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand where Fernando was coming from, because 2-time world champion, someone who dethroned Michael from the top, he was obviously going to be the number 1 driver in McLaren before he even sat into that car. But one thing he kind of did not do is probably read into who the other person was in the other car, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
He was a generational talent, not just any talent,
Yeah,
because he was
100%.
making a lot of noise
Yeah.
as a teenager in the junior circuit. So much so that Ron Dennis hired him at the age of 13. So when someone hires you that early, there is something definitely special about you. And I don't know if you guys agree if Hamilton is the greatest of all time, but there's one thing that is true, and that is the fact that he was the best ever rookie in Formula One
Of course.
that Formula One has ever seen or will
course.
probably ever see. Because the fact is, no rookie has taken more than 2 podiums since their debut.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton took 9.
Yeah. No, he is a generation.
And lost the title by 1 point.
He lost the championship by 1 point, but he took 9 podiums against
In
an
his
Alonso
rookie year.
in his first 9 races.
That's crazy.
In his
man.
first 9 races, which included 2 wins
Yeah.
against a 2-time world champion in a very fast car. That's already a very difficult situation to be in, and that was something that did not sit well with
Yeah.
Fernando. And he was too engrossed in trying to sabotage Lewis and
Yes.
his performances that he kind of lost his own way and he left McLaren. Now, coming to the poor decisions, because a lot of teams were interested in Fernando after that, like Toyota, Honda, but there was one team in specific, Ferrari.
Yeah.
And when Ferrari is literally knocking at your door, you do not refuse.
Yeah.
That is one
Yeah,
team,
yeah,
especially in the 2000s,
Yeah,
when that
100%.
had been such a dominant team.
Yeah.
No matter anyone in that situation, all the people who criticize Fernando for taking all those poor decisions, what do you do when Ferrari is knocking at your door? So coming back to the Alonso point, so the fact that he moved to Ferrari for the very point that he wanted to win a championship with Ferrari, and he got a lot of offers from Red Bull during that time as well. He refused all of them because he wanted to achieve that dream. And after that, once 2014 started, there was only one team that was dominant, which was Mercedes. And this is why I say it was his biggest mistake, because taking Lewis Hamilton on in 2007 was one of the reasons why he was never offered
In
from 2014
For sure,
onwards,
for
because
sure.
there is Lewis in the other car. So if he had joined any team at that point of time, it wouldn't have made sense. If he joined Red Bull, they would have not won. Had he joined Ferrari again later on, the other half mistake he probably did was not staying back in Ferrari 2014 onwards.
Yeah.
But only because maybe 17 and 18 would have been yet another chance for him. But that would have been his 8th year with the team, and I don't. He would,
Ferrari
he would
doesn't
have
keep
left,
anyone
yeah.
for
he would
8
have
years.
left
Yeah.
earlier.
Well, I mean, Kimi was with Ferrari for quite some time, right?
Because he doesn't say anything. That's
He doesn't say
Oh,
anything.
that's true. He keeps his mouth shut. When did he win his championship?
7.
2007. Okay.
And on that 7 championship as well, I think part of what you're saying also comes down to Ron Dennis about how poor he is at handling 2 big personalities. Twice it's happened, right? Ayrton Senna, Alan Prost, where it was just pandemonium.
Twice for him, yeah.
Yeah, twice for him. He brought them on because he wanted the best possible combination. But Ron Dennis might be the best in the world at managing a big organization, but he's proved that time that he couldn't quite handle 2 big personalities. Didn't work out very well. Eventually, someone had to walk out. Nobody won. Nobody won from that. 2007 at the end as well. Both Lewis and Fernando in the same team couldn't handle it.
It's an unwritten rule that you can't have 2 alphas in the same team.
Can actually.
You think will it work?
Well,
It has. But it's just that you need a strong leader to come
How you
on.
manage
Yeah.
the team.
So,
Guys, speaking of alphas and teams, I think this would be a perfect time to do a. So initially, I wanted to do a HST versus the inside line quiz. Obviously, that would seem very unfair considering your guys' knowledge. So I think the seating arrangement we have now is actually perfect. So Jay and
We're on the same
Sawmill,
team,
man. Let's
Sid,
There we
Stats
go.
Guru with me. I got Stats
Yeah.
Guru.
You got
I'm
Stats
tense.
Guru.
That's okay, bro.
I'm confident of my chances.
both the teams have a whiteboard, okay? And I was inspired by the inside line name, so I've named this game. It's a very original name.
Yeah.
Whose line is it anyway?
Where
Nicely done, sir.
Where everything is factual and the points really matter. So try and do your best.
It's a good
okay?
show, actually, back in the day.
Great show.
Fantastic show.
Great show.
So let's start with a little bit of a warm up, some easy, low hanging fruit that I'll just throw out there. This is a multiple choice round, so I'm going to ask you all 5 questions and then we'll move on to the harder stuff. Okay. So the first question, and I'll give you all multiple choice options for this. Who is the only driver to have won the F1?
One sec. Before you complete it,
What's
how
up?
do we answer?
You write it on.
You
We
write
write
on
it
the
down.
whiteboard.
We put the options here and then we show it later on.
Acha, that way. Okay. Nothing to do with speed and all that, right? Because I write slowly. So.
The later rounds require speed.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Who is the only driver to have won the F1 championship in a car of his own construction? You guys even want options? Because
Yeah,
I feel like the look
Can
you
repeat the
gave me
question
right
again?
now.
I don't want
we
this to
know
be a
who it
trick
is
question.
already.
Say that again.
Who is the only driver to have won the F1 championship in a car of his own construction? If you guys want options, I can give it to
And
you.
this is the easier one?
These are the easier ones.
I have no
I
idea.
better not lose my job, huh? After this quiz.
I'll give you options. A. Michael Schumacher. B. Juan Manuel Fangio. I hope I'm pronouncing
Yeah,
everything
it's
right.
Lovely. Lovely
C.
pronunciation.
Graham Hill. Or D. Jack Brabham.
Yeah, it's
The answer's locked in.
yeah.
Because we wrote ours.
Yeah, we good.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1. It's D. Jack Brabham.
Ah,
Brabham,
nice. Nice.
Jackie Stewart had the opportunity to once, but that didn't really work out.
Hmm.
No, he actually retired before Stuart Grand Prix came out. And Alan Prost, wanted to do that. It's a really fun story.
You and Alan Prost.
I met him once, and the amazing part is I thought Alan would never give me time, but Alan spoke to us for 30 minutes. He's such a considerate guy, and you meet him and you just melt because he's so soft and so nice. But I love Alan Prost.
Nice.
We can tell.
Yeah, I couldn't have guessed.
Awesome. So that's
It's been 5 years. My dad still has his profile picture as Alan Prost's selfie with him. Still doesn't change it once. He's
he's like,
obsessed with him.
all I wanted was my dad's attention and love.
why can't my dad have me as his display picture?
I don't blame him though. I don't blame him.
Okay, so 1-1. Second one. Which circuit has hosted the most F1 races in history? I'm not giving you options for this one.
You want to try?
I was thinking along the same lines, so it's fine.
Okay, let's make this
It has to be
interesting.
there.
Yeah.
If you guys are okay, let me and Jay do one answer.
Yo, relax, bro. It's a team
That's
game.
a good idea.
It'll be fun.
That'll be a good idea.
It's a team game, Sid. Please, let's.
Dude, I don't think your questions can stump them, but sure.
No, these
So
are
give me the
easy
options,
ones.
please. I am getting a little confused. Please give me
It's
the
all definitely going to be between.
No, give me the
It's gonna be
options.
between
No, I'm not giving you options.
The two, right?
Okay, are y'all ready?
Oh, holy. No, yeah, okay, I'm cool. Yeah, I'm
3,
sure with mine.
2,
Little confused.
1.
Shit.
Yes, it is Monza.
I'm good.
Okay, 2-all. Okay, let's get into.
Okay,
let's
do you
get
want to
into-
split up the answers that way? Right? Do we want to?
No,
You
I
want
think we
alternate?
should.
No, it should be a team.
I think
game.
it should be a team effort because
Sure.
we're a team on the couch. So I don't know about you guys. I
No,
don't know
we're
how
a
you
team.
feel. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Who was the first
You're a bit too much of a team.
Who was the first American driver to win the F1 championship? A. Mario Andretti.
Don't even.
B. Phil Hill. C. Dan Gurney. D. Richie
Yeah,
Ginther.
of course, it's a given. I mean, yeah.
I just want to say he wrote it first. That counts.
In 3, 2.
Come on, dude.
Phil
It's
Hill.
Phil Hill.
It is that, dude. I was like, dude, Phil. Yeah, PH
Phil.
man.
You know the fun part.
I'm liking this so far.
Yeah.
I might hate it later on.
There's
Okay.
turn one at COTA, the American Texas circuit. It's a long uphill hill, and the Americans colloquially call it the Phil Hill because why not?
Oh.
That's
It's a good one.
that's a good one.
Okay, I feel like the MCQs are a bit too easy. So it's 3-all. Let's move on to the slightly harder ones. Okay?
Sure.
I'm going to give you a list of 5 drivers.
Mhm.
You have to rank them in ascending height order.
Okay, I can. we can do
Bonus
that.
points if you can give me within 1 centimeter of the actual height.
Holy.
What are you
Oh,
saying?
man.
Okay, so
Come on,
you're,
stats guru. You don't have anything for this.
Are these current drivers?
so yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
I think so. Okay, so y'all can feel free to write their initials if you'd like to just keep a tab of it. Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, and Lance Stroll.
Alex Albon and Lance Stroll.
So you're going for ascending height order.
I think he is. I think so. He is definitely the tallest. So he is okay.
So he was like 1, 2, 3.
1.
Uh-huh.
He is.
Actually, no.
I think this is 2.
Guys, I will remind you again, if you do guess the height within 1 centimeter, it's a bonus point for every height you get right.
Yeah?
Yes. I think we have the first two.
Yeah, I think this
Okay,
is
sure.
fine.
So
So
we start
I think
right.
he is.
Okay.
Time for that switch.
Okay.
All right, guys, are you ready?
Give us
I'll
the-
do
give
the-
us the,
I'll do the conversion first.
Pulling up Google the answer.
That's a good idea. No, I'll keep it fair. I'll not exploit that loophole, but it's okay.
Okay, guys, I'm
This
going
one
to
is all
need your
about
answers now.
exploiting
Okay.
Yeah,
loops,
good.
my man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to reveal, okay? And then y'all can tell me how many y'all got correct.
Okay.
Can y'all face your whiteboards to the camera, please?
Wow, it's cold here. Wow.
So, the shortest...
Hey, kya kuch bhi?
The
Acha,
shortest,
ulta. Oh shit. Oh, sorry.
Wait, what?
That's
Hey,
okay,
yo,
it's
hold
okay,
up,
it's
hold up.
okay.
It's fine, it's fine. We can just
We
reverse it.
just
It's
reverse the order, yeah.
The shortest is Lewis Hamilton
Yeah, we got that.
Bingo.
at 174 centimeters.
Which is how much?
Uh,
So how tall is he?
Oh, we wrote the same 170.
One
Yeah,
seven-
we're in the
174.
same mode,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, you know what? Fuck the other heights.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
the numbers. Let's just do
Let's
the
just
order.
do the rank.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
do the rank
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
then we'll see.
yeah, let's just
Hamilton, followed
Yeah.
by Leclerc.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
word.
What?
We got that.
Okay. Followed by Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
We got it.
my
Followed
No.
by Max.
Dude,
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
Followed by Albon.
Courtesy-
And y'all just got one correct?
No, we got two correct.
got two
so
correct.
Put some
Yeah.
respect on that, bro.
Courtesy F1 stats guru.
Okay, awesome.
I get it.
Nice.
So far.
Not bad.
Lewis Hamilton is that
Guys,
short?
I did not know Leclerc was that short.
Tall. rather.
Tall.
He's not so short, by the way.
All right, guys.
That
So
was awesome.
Nice.
their
Okay.
team leads 5-2 now, but in this next round, it's all about speed.
God.
Hold up, they get
Fuck.
all 3
They get
points.
all
from that?
3
Shouldn't it be one segment, 1 point?
Yeah.
They got 5 correct, so it's 5 points. Y'all got 2 correct, so it's 2
Hey.
points.
What?
So it's 8-5
So, okay,
now.
so Saumil,
the
welcome to
previous one.
HST, where the rules don't matter and the points are completely up to
So it's
Sid
F1.
and Okay, let's exploit some loopholes.
Hey, Michael Massey, what are you doing, man?
This next one, I feel like your
Adimasi.
team has it because it's about speed. So let's see if
Speed.
We have
Is it the top
We have
speed?
speed, dude.
You don't have speed.
Okay.
Yeah, we
what all you have to do is I'm gonna say y'all can put the whiteboards away. I'm gonna
Okay.
give y'all a driver's name,
Hmm.
and you have to tell me his number this season.
Ah, so easy.
Oh,
Okay, but the first person to say it wins.
Sure.
okay.
All right.
Do we have a buzzer or do we?
How do we?
No, whoever I hear first.
Hmm.
Okay. So
No bias
number
at all.
1, Sergio Perez.
11.
11.
Oh,
That's 1 point to them. Alexander Albon.
23.
No, that's wrong.
23.
What did you say?
23.
Yeah, he's right.
He's right.
my man.
Oscar Piastri.
88.
That is incorrect.
Oh, it's 80.
You have a time to steal.
No. Why am I forgetting this?
Okay, 5 seconds. Can we go now?
No.
I
okay.
can't
They gotta
answer.
guess. They gotta guess.
83. I don't know.
No.
No, back to you
80.
guys.
81,
to you
81,
guys.
sorry, 81.
81. Yeah, it is
Arey.
81.
No, he gave it away though.
So many tries. No, that's not
No,
right.
no
That's
one
not
gets a
right.
point for that.
Okay,
No worries,
It's
no worries.
it's 2-0 still. Lando Norris.
4.
4.
He said, dude, he was 100%
I
for
heard
me.
it.
Come
I
on.
heard it there.
That was it was 100%.
He is so loud.
him.
3-0. Fernando Alonso.
14.
14.
Come on, Zero.
This was together, dude.
We got
No, it
him.
was not.
Come on.
And
This
last,
is embarrassing.
Logan Sargent.
Holy
I was waiting for him to say Logan.
So 4-1. Y'all are back tied.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
fuck.
That's more like
Go
it.
on. Logan?
Sounds like
I'm
Abu
gutted
Dhabi.
most about the Fernando Alonso one.
That one.
You knew that.
I was waiting for him to say Logan because he wasn't going to say the
Actually, you know,
most
we
common
fought for
ones.
Celebration. I actually asserted dominance and didn't do a fist bump. I just.
Oh, that's okay. It's the hand hug. That's what you call it.
Not bad.
Okay, so it's tied, and
Shit,
this is the last round.
Let's go for it. Sounds like Abu Dhabi.
How's this?
Now for this one, I'm gonna give you a letter,
Huh?
and you have to go turn by turn naming an F1 team,
Ah, easy.
and it can be through all of history,
Easy.
not current.
As in one
F1
letter?
team.
Oh my god.
One letter, like it's
Like
start-
Antakshari, right?
We
Basically.
write it down or?
basically. No, y'all just go one by one. Whoever chokes, the other person gets the point.
No worries.
Okay, so let's start
Whoever
with their team.
chokes.
We'll go round 2 with you. So the
This is
letter
not-
is
not damn
S.
good.
S. Stuart GP.
Yes.
So I go for T?
No, just
okay,
S. It keeps going S.
Sauber.
Simtech.
Simtech.
Yes.
That's a good team. Sauber.
Yes.
That one.
Ah,
He knows it. He knows it.
We're in the same team, right?
Yeah. I know that. I only knew one. I gave that away.
Some mind games for you, Stats Guru.
I'm gonna give y'all 5 seconds. I gave y'all Sauber.
No.
No.
Well, you
No,
guys
we
both
said
said the
Sauber.
answer together.
Sahara Force India?
Scuderia Ferrari.
Oh, that's
Okay.
actually. I mean,
Which one are you choosing?
Scuderia Ferrari, yeah.
No.
That counts
Sahara
as an F.
Focus.
No, Sahara
No,
Force
no.
India.
Y'all choked, so that's a point for them.
Yeah. Nice one.
But this
Tell me-
round you guys can start with letter F.
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Ford didn't have an official team, so that doesn't count. Give me 1 second. Footwork.
that's what I was.
Back to you guys.
Force India.
Oh,
yeah.
Aye.
That's a good one.
Nice.
That was a good one.
Are there more? I can't really think of more now.
Footwork.
There are definitely more?
There's a lot more.
Oh, fuck.
1 second. Let me.
In
let me-
S,
give
there
me-
were at least 12, 13. that
Oh
you
my
Give me
know.
God.
two
With
minutes,
F?
huh? I'll figure it out.
SS.
Give me 2 minutes. I'll just recap my history all the way through.
You have 10 seconds, so.
Holy, 10's less.
Don't worry about that. bro.
Stewart,
Figure it out.
Brabham, there was
5.
no.
You and me are just cheerleaders at this point.
Honda, there was
And it's time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. 1 point to
Can you tell the names after it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
of
you
course.
actually? Because
Of
I
all
don't know
the-
any with F.
Okay, let's
Even
go
the
for
S one.
S. Surtees, Shadow,
Surtees.
there was 30s,
Super
yes.
Aguri,
Super Aguri
Spirit,
2007, yeah.
Simca Gordini, Stevens,
Did he say Stuart? Did he say Stuart?
I said Stewart.
Oh,
and others that I'm not going to try and pronounce.
Okay, and
Wait, what about F?
F, we had Fittipaldi.
Fittipaldi, Coppasuka. No, that's
40.
wrong. It's Coppasuka Fittipaldi. It starts with a C.
Oh, relax. Okay, there was more though. 40,
Fond metal. Yeah.
Fraser Nash, Ferguson.
Hey, no, they don't count. They were never really starting. They would always.
This is a
Yeah,
tough quiz.
They're
You've done
Okay,
some
either way,
incredible research in this.
Yeah,
it's 1-1.
They're DNSs mostly.
Yo,
Back
shout out to our producer Aman for getting all these names.
Yeah,
by the way.
really.
That's
Dude,
good.
great work.
This
Dude.
game was on Grill the Grid on the YouTube
okay.
channel of Apple. So
Why are you putting him down? bro?
But still, we miss you, Aman. Shout out.
No, no, great work, man. Seriously.
Okay, we have 2 more letters. Okay,
Let's
we're gonna
go.
go for. Let's go with V.
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 Starting. With V.
The one.
There's only one I know.
If you guys have nothing in 5 seconds, I have to.
No,
give
you
it
said
to
10,
them.
right?
you didn't say anything
One
this
sec,
time.
One sec. With V, there's.
The timer warning is 10 seconds. Don't pay attention to them.
Hey, who said we're starting? You didn't say who's starting.
I did.
Hey, he's looking at you.
He did.
6,
What team?
Venus.
2.
Venus
Okay, back
Motors.
to you guys.
Virgin.
I'm sorry?
Abey, Virgin tha.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
Stats Guru, let's go.
The other ones include Van Wall,
Oh,
Van
yes,
Wall was
the first
old,
team
yeah.
to win a championship.
Venturi,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Veritas.
Venturi was very I should have.
What did I say? I kind of said something like similar though.
Said Venus.
he said Venus.
Yeah, should have.
Venus Motorsport, bro. That would be a great team.
Okay,
name, I feel.
This is the last
team,
one?
Their team leads 2-1.
Hmm. We'll get
Last
it back.
one,
Oh,
and you
shit.
guys start with C.
Cooper.
Back to you.
Coppasuka.
Oh, wait, what did you say?
Coppasuka Fittipaldi. 19.
Oh,
That
no.
was considered as
That was
F.
considered
That
as
was an
F.
F.
No, but I mean, technically, if you didn't give,
Scuderia Ferrari was an F, was in Ferrari.
but that's
So
just not the right name though.
But technically,
Literally Coppasuka. That
he's not going for a Scuderia Ferrari, he's going for a Ferrari.
Yeah,
So that's
come
how
on.
they
Yeah.
won.
To C ke saath, if you've given for Cooper Climax, we can go for
Climax.
That's the name of the
Yeah,
team,
that's-
actually. What's happening to my memory today?
Please don't answer this because I will definitely not have.
Arey, kya ho raha
Okay,
hai?
I know one more. There's one more.
Caterham.
That's the only one I knew. Shit, that's the one I knew.
Which one?
Caterham.
Cobra.
Cognizant. Aston
No.
Martin.
It's Aston Martin and Aramco Cognizant Formula 1 team. Say it properly.
Guys, you have 10 seconds. Otherwise, it's going to be tied and we'll have one tiebreaker round.
This is exactly like the 2021 championship though.
Shit, this is a hard one.
I can't.
It's done, dude. 10 seconds is like long
Done.
over.
Tell me.
The others include Connaught, Coloni, Christensen, Connew.
Okay, so now Sid and I have to get in our cars and race home.
I did not brush up on my history before today.
No, but these are all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one because these are all.
Now, for this last round, I'm going to give you guys the letter. The first person to say it gets first go.
I'm sorry, this is the same rules?
Yes,
Same.
first go.
Gets
First,
first go.
first go, basically.
Because
Okay.
it gets harder
Okay.
as more things are said, right?
Hmm.
So
Nice. That
the
sounds like
letter is
bed.
E.
You picking the
Eagle.
worst letters.
Yes.
Oh,
Fuck.
Now, beyond this, I don't know.
wait, what? Didn't you just say the name?
I said eagle.
Oh.
E. What team starts with E?
These are the last letters people guess in like Hangman.
Yeah,
E and B and
I was hoping it would say M. But
yeah, M has a lot.
Guys, 10 seconds. Otherwise, I have to declare them the champions.
Yo, relax, bro. Please. 20 seconds, championship rounds. Bend the rules for us, bro. Come on.
Sure, I'll make it more interesting for people watching.
Yo, it's Adi. He's giving it to me, Jay.
So, guys, if you're new to HST, this is what happens on the regular.
All right, I'm
Alright,
sorry,
we take
Sommer.
it.
Yeah.
It was
The
a
others
pleasure. It was
include
a pleasure.
Ensign, Euroborn,
Ensign,
ERA,
Ensign.
Eppley, Emerson, Ewing, Elder, EMW, ENB.
EMW just making
Wow.
shit up at this point.
Kudos to you guys for this research.
Ensign was the
Incredible.
only other one I remembered, but Ensign
And
was...
there's one more thing, the ESG, which is the Empty Shelf Gang.
Hey, let's
And
go.
We
dude.
ask all the guests that come on the show to bring something for our shelf. So before we
yes.
wrap up, if y'all have something for us, we'd love to
It's
see it.
outside, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, Disha, will you grab
Catch
it,
me outside.
please?
How about
Yeah.
that? No. Sorry, I can't believe that came out of my mouth.
Is there anything else you
I
guys
want to
you guys
test you,
wanna-
Somil.
Huh?
Can you do the champions In chronological order?
Very easy.
I had,
Really?
I had that question, but I
It's-
left it out because I knew you guys would just know it.
Very easy. There is...
Do it in reverse.
2020
person
to
each, you know?
1990 is what I had here.
No stress. Verstappen. That leaves us with 20 Hamilton, 19 Hamilton, 18 Hamilton, 17 Hamilton, 16 Rosberg, 15 Hamilton, 14 Hamilton.
Let me check. Let me
13.
check.
He's
No,
he
I'm,
needs to check
I
out.
know these though. I mean, this-
13 to 10 is Vettel, 9 is, my God, Jensen, 8 is Lewis, 7 is
8 is
Kimi.
Massa. For 10 seconds.
For 10 seconds. 6, 5 is Fernando, 4 se leke 2000 tak it was Michael, 99, 98 Mika, 97 was Jacques Villeneuve, 96 was Damon Hill, 95, 94 was Michael, 93 was Alan Prost, 92 was Nigel Mansell, 91 was Senna, 90 was Senna, 89 was...
I don't have 89. Fuck, that's insane.
Yo, give it up.
Go on,
for
go on,
Saul.
go on, go on.
Yeah,
it's,
go on.
Go.
89 is Prost, 88 is Senna, 87 was PK, 86 was Alan Prost as well, 85 was Nelson Piquet. No.
That's why they won the game.
No, 85 was Prost as well.
You need to live long enough to.
85 is Prost.
85 was Prost again. 84 was Nicky. 83 was PK. 82 was Keke. 81. 80 was Alan Jones, which means that 81 would be. Let me remember very quickly. It was another driver from Williams. What was
It's a
the
name we've already taken.
It's a name we've already taken. PK won in 81, 83, 85.
87.
87, yes. So,
81 is PK.
So 79 is Jody Scheckter,
Hmm.
if I'm not wrong.
I don't know who these guys are.
78 is where shit starts to get tricky.
How old is this sport?
How old is this
1950.
sport?
1950.
So
Okay,
70
we're good, guys. We're good.
77 and 70.
Who's 78?
One second, I'm coming. I'm chronologically working on it. One second.
Okay.
78 is Mario.
Okay.
77 is
That's
Nicky.
Mario Kart.
76 is James. 75 is Nicky. 74 would be Emerson's last championship.
Yeah.
74, 72. So which means we have 73 left. And 73 was won by Jackie Stewart.
Yeah.
That's when Francois Sevet died. The most beautiful helmet and the beautiful eyes in the world. No, seriously.
Eyes?
You have to see that picture. I'm not
The
kidding.
selfie with your dad?
No.
You have to send us the
Yeah,
selfie.
send us the selfie with your dad.
We need to see the profile
Yeah,
picture.
we-
yeah.
I'll show that. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Francois Sevet one, if you have it on your wall, it's just dreamy. And yeah, that okay. But coming back, 73 was Stewart. 72 was Fittipaldi.
Yeah.
71, 70 was Jochen Rindt. So I'll come back to 71 because that's how I remember
Yeah, you can,
chronologically.
yeah, that's how I do it as well.
71 would be.
You want me to wrap it up?
Fuck, who was Stewart? Stewart won 2.
You want me to wrap up the rest?
Yeah,
No,
please.
Stewart won
Show 'em how
2.
the
So
pros do
73,
it, bro.
71. 70 was Jochen Rindt. 69 was not a Williams driver. 69
Was your mom.
No, who was 69 actually?
Stewart 69, 68 Graham Hill,
Graham Hill.
67 Denny Hulme,
Denny Hulme.
66 Jack Brabham,
Jack Brabham,
65 Jim Clark, 64 John Surtees,
Correct.
63 Jim Clark, 62 Graham Hill, 61 Phil Hill,
Take us home, Stats Guru.
60 Jack Brabham,
60 was Brabham, exactly.
59 Brabham, 58 Mike Hawthorne, 57 6 5 4 1
Fangio.
Manuel Fangio, 53
was
52 Alberto Ascari,
Ascari,
51 1 Manuel Fangio.
Wow.
He was
50
Farid.
Wow.
Farina.
Wow.
Exactly. There we are.
That was
There
crazy,
we are.
guys.
What do the constructors?
Nah, we know.
Let's take that off air. Let's do that off air.
Oh, this was on
your,
air.
your empty shelf item. Yeah, it was rolling,
Ah,
bro.
lovely. Okay, so we've got something from F1 Stats Guru himself. So there's one stat that he uncovered and he made a.
No, it wasn't a stat.
I mean, yeah, it's something, but it is a beautiful little poster that we've got in here.
Oh,
It's
wow.
got your old address written on it, by the way.
Really?
Shake. Okay, the thing is,
I'll do it.
yeah, there we go.
Much smaller than I expected.
Yeah.
That's because we're measuring in like centimeters, not inches. isn't it? So-
And this is a couple of
Whoa.
beautiful posters that our man
Whoa.
Stats Guru himself has designed. It is. I know
Oh.
some of you might not
Oh,
like it,
nice.
but
Sick.
Hamilton's
Sick.
100 race wins.
That's super cool, man.
That's
It
sick.
is.
He has
super
more
cool.
than 100 right now, but this was just to
Yeah, yeah,
commemorate
yeah.
the 100 ones.
Wow.
And it's a special one because you can see the young Lewis meeting the old Lewis. So
Wow.
it's a nice one.
His
It's,
hairline receded that much?
oh, actually,
Not really.
no,
I would
it is Ulta actually because
Yeah,
Lewis.
he actually had a much more receding hairline when he was younger. Like now, it's like
By the way, on that question, folks, very quickly, what's your favorite
Theatre.
Lewis Hamilton win? Which is your
My favorite Lewis Hamilton win has got to be Brazil of 21.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, man.
That was fucking crazy, bro.
Mine's got to be the one. It's all about the fans, guys. Subscribe, like the video. You know, keep doing your thing.
Best
and-
fans.
Yeah.
We've got the
But
best fans out there.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It was really
Seriously.
fun. This was really
You guys
good.
want to have any last words? You want to say anything?
Yeah, please.
Any
plug
last
stuff.
words? Are we dying? No, but seriously, folks, if you're watching this from any part of the country, we're doing a lot of fun meetups. It's called the Inside Line Club F1 Pit Stop. I think we've had 6 of them in Mumbai so far. A lot of people tuning in, and it's amazing that we can have a fun Formula One discussion with all of you, right? We normally don't get the chance to, but we can listen to your opinions, we can share our takes, have fun discussions, quizzes that F1 Stats Guru is so amazing at, and shit tons of banter. So we're doing one very soon across multiple cities. In Mumbai, we always have one almost for every single Formula One race weekend. So you're very, very welcome to subscribe to our social media channels to keep up. But there's going to be a few in Pune, Bangalore, Delhi. We've now been told that Jaipur is a big market that we need to cover as well. So lots of fun places. We'll be coming there. It's going
You
to be a
guys
ton
should
of fun.
definitely come as well.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. When is the next Mumbai one?
I think for Baku, that's what we're planning, isn't it?
Planning probably the end of this month.
And it's a lot of fun because we've got a simulator there. We've got an F1 quiz by Stats Guru.
Wow,
We just
where
get
is
to-
this? Where do you guys... You want to tell them
So
where you
our
meet up?
partners are social for this event, and social have different places. So far in Mumbai, we've done it at Palladium Social,
Wow.
Dadar Social,
Nice.
and Car Social. It's quite a fun place to be a part of. If you would like to join in, check us out, folks. We'd love to have you in
Super.
at any point in time.
Super. Thank you guys so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. And before we end, by the way, Blue Tokai's got some good coffee.
Hey, they do.
I couldn't mention it earlier, but I
Yeah.
kind of, it was so good I finished mine very early on. So
If you guys do enjoy Blue Tokai coffee, you can use code HSTBT20 for 20% off all your orders.
yeah, it makes you feel like a WWE champion. That you've got the belt in the back.
Tarantino vibe, make a movie. I'm sick of the twisted
Thank you.
and grooving. Turn around and put your hips into it. Face so cute, but the ass unruly.